How did a mosquito-infested swamp transform into a concrete titan that 38 million people now call home? Long before the neon lights of Shinjuku, Tokyo was just a tiny fishing village called Edo, ignored by royalty and written off by history. Today, we reveal the impossible engineering secrets that turned a backwater outpost into the world's most efficient megacity. In 1457, Edo was little more than a fortified outpost, built on soggy ground near the edge of a bay. The land was unstable. Rivers flooded unpredictably. Mosquitoes thrived. No one looked at Edo and saw destiny. But one man did. When Tokugawa Ieyasu seized control in 1603 and established the Tokugawa shogunate, he chose Edo as his base of power. It wasn't glamorous like Kyoto, the imperial capital. It wasn't culturally refined like Osaka. It was strategic. Edo sat near vital waterways and trade routes. And because it was underdeveloped, it could be reshaped. What followed was one of the most ambitious land engineering projects in pre-modern history. Rivers were rerouted. Marshes were drained. Hills were carved down and used to fill lowlands. Samurai districts were carefully zoned. Merchant quarters were organized with precision. This wasn't random growth. It was controlled urban planning. Then came the masterstroke, the alternate attendance system. Under this policy, provincial lords, the daimyo, were required to live in Edo every other year. And when they traveled with massive entourages of samurai, servants, and families. This forced migration transformed Edo into a political magnet. By the early 1700s, Edo had surpassed 1 million residents, becoming one of the largest cities on earth. A swamp had become a super city. For over 250 years, Japan remained largely isolated from the outside world. Edo thrived internally, but it was disconnected globally. That changed in 1868. The Meiji Restoration dismantled the shogunate and restored imperial rule. The emperor moved from Kyoto to Edo, and Edo was renamed Tokyo, Eastern Capital. This wasn't just a name change, it was a reset. Japan opened to the west. Railways were introduced. Brick buildings replaced wood. Gas lamps lit streets once illuminated only by paper lanterns. The first railway line connected Tokyo to Yokohama in 1872. Telegraph lines stretched across the city. Western military, legal, and educational systems were adopted at breathtaking speed. But Tokyo didn't abandon its identity. European urban planning techniques were adapted, not copied. Wide boulevards were introduced, but traditional districts survived. Modern banks rose beside shrines. Tokyo was no longer a feudal power center. It was becoming an industrial capital. Then, disaster struck. In 1923, the Great Kanto earthquake shattered the city. Buildings collapsed.
Engineering.
Fires raged uncontrollably.
Reminds me of my youth.
Over 100,000 lives were lost. Tokyo was flattened. But catastrophe became blueprint. Urban planners redesigned the city with wider roads to prevent future fire spread. Parks were strategically placed as evacuation zones. Reinforced infrastructure became a priority. The city rebuilt. Then in 1945, it burned again. During World War II, relentless firebombing campaigns turned vast portions of Tokyo into ash. Entire neighborhoods vanished overnight. It was devastation on a scale almost unimaginable. Yet within a decade, Tokyo was rebuilding, not cautiously but aggressively. Steel replaced timber. Concrete replaced vulnerability. Infrastructure projects moved at relentless speed. Where many cities crumble under repeated destruction, Tokyo adapted. Destruction was no longer an endpoint. It was fuel. By the 1950s and 60s, Japan entered a period known as the economic miracle, and Tokyo became its engine. The 1964 Olympics marked a turning point. The world was watching. Tokyo needed to present itself not as a recovering war zone, but as a futuristic powerhouse. The Shinkansen bullet train debuted that same year, redefining speed and connectivity. Highways were built above rivers. The subway network expanded into one of the most intricate transit systems on Earth. Tokyo faced a problem few cities manage well: density. As millions migrated for opportunity, space ran out. So Tokyo built upward. Districts like Shinjuku transformed into vertical cities of glass and steel. Minato became a corporate stronghold. Land values skyrocketed during the 1980s economic bubble, funding ambitious architecture and infrastructure. Yet Tokyo avoided chaos. Its transit system became legendary for precision. Logistics networks allowed millions to move daily, with minimal disruption. Tokyo mastered controlled complexity. By the early 21st century, the Greater Tokyo area housed nearly 38 million people, the largest metropolitan population in human history. A megacity had emerged. But evolution doesn't stop at scale. Modern Tokyo faces new challenges: aging demographics, climate pressure, urban heat. The solution? Reinvention. Again. AI-driven traffic systems now monitor congestion in real time. Green corridors expand to combat the heat island effect. Rooftop gardens multiply across districts once defined only by steel. The compact city model prioritizes accessibility, ensuring elderly residents can live comfortably without long commutes. Automation integrates seamlessly. Trains run with near-perfect punctuality. Waste management operates with surgical efficiency. Tokyo isn't just big, it's optimized. And while other megacities struggle with sprawl and gridlock, Tokyo remains astonishingly livable. The deeper pattern. What makes Tokyo different? It's not geography. It's not luck. It's systemic adaptation. At every critical turning point, swamp, shogunate, restoration, earthquake, war, economic boom, demographic shift, Tokyo chose restructuring over retreat. It bends crisis into architecture. It turns constraint into innovation. It rebuilds before doubt settles. From a mosquito-infested marshland to the most complex urban organism ever constructed, Tokyo's rise wasn't accidental. It was engineered, layer by layer, crisis by crisis, reinvention by reinvention. Today, beneath the neon glow and bullet trains, beneath the AI systems and vertical skylines, the DNA of Edo still exists, the relentless will to adapt. Tokyo isn't just the world's largest megacity. It is proof that cities are not defined by destruction. They are defined by how they rebuild. And in that evolution, Tokyo became the blueprint for the future of urban civilization.